World War.
Talking to Dr. JBaxter, and the issue is African Americans in public education. And of course, Dr. Baxter, I think in your overview,
yes,
during that first segment, you sort of laid out the situation that at least one African American faced
sure,
in public education, and how you have been able to overcome.
Right.
But in many instances, a large number of Africans have not been able to overcome, as the two of us have, for example.
Yes.
And so what we'd like to do is to start at the period immediately after slavery and talk about some of the education options that Africans had at that particular time.
Well, very good. In doing so, Dr. Haney, the year January the 1st, 1862, is very important in these United States of America, and especially for people of color. On that particular date, Abraham Lincoln issued by executive order Emancipation Proclamation. Now, what that particular executive order did for people of color, it treed them. And only those who were in areas of the South and borderline states that had been conquered by Union forces. Now, after January 1st, 1862, at the end of the war, the country is faced with a dilemma, in that the war was fought, for the most part, in the southern region of the United States of America. We know that the economy of the South was based on agriculture. We also know that cotton had been king. We also know that Eli Whitney revolutionized the cotton industry with his invention of the cotton gin. It made for cotton to be what? Mass produced. Now, when we think in terms of growing and harvesting cotton, you needed a suitable labor force.
Amen. So
slavery was on its deathbed. And the founding fathers, those who were delegates at the Constitutional Convention, that's why they did not abolish slavery then, because they knew that slavery was on its deathbed because it could not be mass produced. So they gave it 20 years from 1787, and so slavery would no longer exist because the cotton could not be mass produced. But Eli Whitney invented this cotton gin. So now there is a need for continued slave labor. So therefore you have these slaves working on plantations of the South. They were forbidden to know how to read and write. It was against the order of the day for anyone to teach slaves to read and write. Slave masters used the Bible to justify that institution of slavery. Well, after January 1 comes an Emancipation Proclamation. Then, of course, the Civil War comes to an end. The dilemma of the South is such as this. You have now emancipated 3.5 million slaves. All they've ever known has been this particular institution, formerly known as slavery. Now, what do we do? The federal government is posed with this problem. What do we now do with 3.5 million plus freedmen?
okay.
Where will they go? Where will they live? Well, when we look at them, some of them left the plantation for the most part. Some of them traveled the country. They went west, they went east. So many